Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Ariana, and we have really disappointing news for the San Francisco 49ers and for San Francisco 49er fans. Ricky Pearsall, first round pick last year, he now joins Brandon Aiyuk on the PUP list, meaning he's not going to be healthy or ready to start camp. Just to give you the exact quote, Adam Schefter about an hour ago said the 49ers have placed wide receivers Brandon Aiyuk and Ricky Pearsall to the active / physically unable to perform list. That's the PUP list. Now, the thing about the PUP list is you can take a player off. You know, they could take them off today. By today, if you're not by a trainer cleared, then the team has to report you on PUP. The disappointing thing is Kyle Shanahan was asked about Ricky Pearsall back in minicamp and brushed it off like it would be no worry at all for him to start training camp. So, like I said, Ricky Pearsall not going to be there to start training camp. We already knew Brandon Aiyuk wasn't going to be there. I'm not anticipating Brandon Aiyuk being back till week 5, week 6, maybe, if things continue to go well with his ACL, MCL, PCL, his whole entire leg. We have heard his rehab is going, on the right trajectory. Although, can we trust these trajectories? Can we trust anything the 49ers say? I would say no. So Ricky Pearsall did not participate in OTAs or minicamp this offseason that just happened. And at the end of camp, reporters did ask Kyle, what the heck is going on with Ricky? Why is he not out there? This is a huge deal. You know, not wasted, but you spent a first round pick on this guy. Cooper DeJean is the guy that everyone thought they were going to choose. He has been a star for Philadelphia. He, arguably made MVP level moves in their Super Bowl. And the 49ers could have had him right there at pick 31. Obviously, Ricky Pearsall got shot last year. You can't hold that against him. What a badass for him coming back. But if you guys remember, before getting shot, he suffered with a shoulder and a hamstring injury and did not participate in his own rookie, because this is now his sophomore year. He didn't participate before getting shot. So not like taking that out, he had a shoulder and a hamstring injury. So now he's had all year to rehab, totally been healthy. He was training this offseason with Jacob Cowing in Florida. OTAs happen, minicamp happens, and he's not there at all. He's not participating. Finally, reporters ask. Kyle Shanahan brushes it off, says basically it's no big deal, and that he's going to return by training camp. This is the exact quote because I want to get it right, so you guys don't think I'm, undersell or overselling how much of a non-issue Kyle tried to make this. Kyle said, Ricky Pearsall had a hamstring. Nothing serious. He's pretty good, right? I'll start over. Kyle Shanahan was asked, what's going on with Ricky Pearsall? When's he going to return? What's wrong with him? Because reporters didn't know. He said, Ricky Pearsall had a hamstring. Nothing serious. He's really pretty good right now. We're just being safe, so he'll be good to go by training camp. Kyle is basically making it sound like he could have been there at OTAs, he could have been there at minicamp, but just out of an abundance of precaution, they were going to wait till training camp. If you guys go back to last year, how were they talking about Christian McCaffrey? And I'm not trying to say maybe Ricky is going to be, out for 2 days of training camp and he'll be there the rest of the time and he'll be great. I truly hope that for Ricky and for the 49ers. But the 49ers did the same bounce, up and down. Oh, he's coming back. He's going to be good by minicamp. Oh, he's going to be good by training camp. Oh, we're trying to be precautious, but if we had a game, Christian McCaffrey would be playing right now. But since it's early on, it's still the off season, we don't want to push it. But week one, he's going to be good. Kyle, John Lynch, Christian McCaffrey himself all said that. He ended up missing the first 8 games of the season. So hopefully for Ricky's sake and for the 49ers' sake, he's okay. It bums me out because I am rooting for the guy. Obviously, he got shot. He's a young guy. This is, I bet he was so ecstatic to go in the first round. He was not projected to be a first-round pick, which looks really bad for the 49ers because even if he was healthy, he was not projected to go in the first round. And now he hasn't contributed at all. And that looks like a big reach for John Lynch or for Kyle Shanahan, whoever was pushed to make that. I don't know if John pushed for that or if Kyle Shanahan pushed for that, but the draft picks under Kyle and John have not looked good. And I think they need them to pan out. And Ricky Pearsall not being available is not good. I really hope for his sake he can get out there, because not only does he need to be physically healthy, but he hasn't participated. Like, he needs to learn the system. He needs to practice with Brock Purdy. They just paid Brock Purdy. He's the franchise quarterback. Brock Purdy doesn't have any wide receivers. Good on Juwan Jennings. I made a video yesterday and the day before that about Juwan Jennings requesting more money. He wants an extension on his contract and some more guaranteed money. No wonder he wants this. Brandon Aiyuk's not going to be there. They traded Deebo Samuel. Ricky Pearsall is on starting the season on PUP or starting training camp on PUP. They want Juwan Jennings to be the number one wide receiver, and he's making like under $7 million. So, I mean, Jennings might not be fast, but he has impeccable timing with asking for this. And if I'm the 49ers, I think you have to pay him. I mean, obviously there's young guys, Tariq Owens, Jacob Cowing, Jordan Watkins. All these guys do need time in training camp, and it'll be good for them to get some chemistry going with Brock Purdy. But they need to have the contributors that are going to be on the field making an impact to try to get the 49ers to go to the playoffs. Those are the wide receivers, the ones that are going to make the biggest impact this season. They need to be in training camp with Brock Purdy building chemistry. We already know Brandon Aiyuk isn't going to be there. Juwan Jennings needs to be there. He can't be holding out. And Ricky Pearsall really needed to be there. So scary news. That quote about him being really pretty good and we're just being safe, he'll be here in training camp, that was said on June 10th. So by Kyle Shanahan, a little over a month later, and he is not good. Aside from Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Aiyuk starting on PUP, I wanted to let you guys know who else was starting. So we have Yetur Gross-Matos. The reason this is an issue, he had a knee injury, but Kyle also said that Gross-Matos was going to be available in training camp, and he is also not available starting on PUP. That means he will not be there. Or he will be there, but he will not be participating in training camp. And then Malik Mustafa, we already knew that. He has the ACL. Curtis Robinson and Andre Dillard are also all on the PUP list. Shorter list than last year. Last year they had to cancel their joint practices because so many people were injured, but not by much. Health was the one of the major things that the 49ers said contributed to their inability to get to the playoffs or have success last year. I really hope that their luck turns away. Now, this is going to piss me off because I wanted the 49ers to get an offensive lineman in free agency. I really wanted them to go out and get and attack Drew Dolman. I thought they could bring him in and he'd make such an impact at center. And then I really wanted them to draft offensive linemen. They got rid of Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks got a huge contract for the Packers that a lot of people don't think he's worth that. Right now, there's not a lot of good offensive linemen in the NFL. So if you can stay healthy and be on the field and do decent, you're going to get highly paid. 49ers let Aaron Banks walk so that Ben Bartch, a guy who filled in for one game, could replace him. Ben Bartch played one game. He did play well in that game. People are very excited about him, but he got hurt after that one game. He had an ankle injury last year. So I was thinking, well, is it a little bit of a gamble to let Aaron Banks go? Aaron Banks has been very healthy and not the best offensive lineman, but solid. Let him go, not draft any replacements, not go get any replacements in free agency, and just cross your fingers that Ben Bartch ends up being good. Yes, he was good, but he was good for one game, and he also couldn't stay healthy. So now you're betting on him to be good for multiple games and to stay healthy. Is that smart? Well, there's something called the NFI, which is away from the facility list. Ben Bartch is on it, which means he hurt himself, probably preparing for training camp. This has happened to multiple football players when they're trying to get themselves in shape. They might pull a hamstring, pull, a quad, something like that. We don't know what the injury is, but Ben Bartch was placed today on the NFI list. Also, George Odom was placed on the NFI list, and I think he has a knee that he was rehabbing actually last year as well. So don't love it. It's not great. The one thing with PUP and with the NFI list, by the way, both of them kind of mean the same thing. They just mean they're not going to be there to start training camp. It's just a way of designated. If you're on the PUP, it means the injury happened either during a game or during NFL practices, where the non-football NFI away from facility list is what it says. It just means that you got hurt, either, could be a car accident or something like that, or it could just be training on your own. Earlier yesterday, I made a video about Curtis Rourke, who was put on a non-football injury list. And he actually injured himself during football, but they call it that because it wasn't during the NFL, it was during his college career. Just to give you some information, because I know all the different lists can be confusing. What it means is the same. It's not, I will say, it doesn't mean they're going to be out the whole season. They're not on injured reserve. Injured reserve is what Elijah Mitchell was put on last year before the season even starts, and it means they're out the whole entire season. For NFI and for PUP, they can elevate these players at any point. Now, there will be a certain point before the season where you have to make the active roster, and I think once you're on a certain list, you have to miss 4 games. But this is not that. Ricky Pearsall could be elevated, like I said, tomorrow, the second day of practice. I know the reporters go down there on Tuesday. Today is Friday. So he could be active by then. He could be pulled anytime. But Ben Bartch, we need him on the offensive line. I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to protect Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy can't get injured. And for some reason, they have when I say they, I mean Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and this regime has consistently not valued offensive linemen, which to me is their major downfall. I think that you can go to all their Super Bowl losses, all the times that they've lost in the NFC Championship game, and you can quite literally, someone was calling me very incessantly, but you can literally, you can blame Christian McCaffrey fumbling, you can blame the defense, not getting a stop, you can blame Kyle Shanahan not knowing the rules, but you can also go down and blame the offensive line not holding up for Brock Purdy, not holding up for Jimmy before that. Kyle Shanahan, RG3, he has always had quarterbacks who end up getting injured because he bargain bin shops on the offensive line. He does not like to pay offensive linemen. He refused to go out in free agency and get him, even though if you watch this channel, Tom and I went through lists of free agency offensive linemen that were available. Now, they did draft Connor, I forget his last name, in the 7th round, but you're normally not finding starters from the offensive line on the 7th round. And maybe this guy will be good, but it's very disappointing when you think about protecting your quarterback, paying a quarterback and protecting him, to have Ben Bartch be the main guy you're relying on, a guy who played 1 game. So you don't even know how he would, even if he's healthy, you don't know how he's going to play for multiple games once people start to get tape on him. And then 2, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And now he's already injured again. And then, like I said, I guess good for Juwan Jennings. He's probably definitely going to get paid, but I feel really sad and disappointed for Ricky Pearsall. He needs to be there. I don't know if he'll ever live up to that 1st round pick. Right now, he's looking kind of like a bust. I mean, if he was a 3rd round pick, people would be disappointed. He has contributed to like 2 games so far. So it's what a waste of a 1st round pick. For the 49ers' sake, for fans' sake, and for Ricky's sake, I really hope that he heals up. I'm not trying to be too harsh. I ran in college and had a horrible hamstring injury, and they suck, and you have to be careful with them. And maybe what happened is he was feeling a little better, and he tested it, and he was like, okay, it's not 100%. I'm trying to go slow. With hamstrings, you don't want to like retweak them because you can make them worse. So I'm really hoping that it's just procedural. He wasn't fully 100%. He's 90%, but he's not cleared. That's why he's on the list. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's nothing else that we don't know about yet. Like I said, reporters will be there on Tuesday. I'll be going to some of the open training camp practices and giving you guys the information. But right now, Brock Purdy doesn't have anyone to throw the ball to. My guess is that George Kittle is going to get tons of targets, which I'm not opposed to. I think, George Kittle should get anywhere from 8 to 14 targets a game. And there was games last year where he was getting 2 to 3. So good for George Kittle. Definitely need to pay Juwan, but my fingers are crossed that Ricky feels better and that Ben Bartch can prove to be healthy and reliable when the 49ers need him the most. Give this a like, give this a thumbs up. I'll be giving you guys the breaking news as it comes out. But yeah, all those lists, just today was the day you had to report, or teams had to report. So I wanted to give you that. The PUP list: Brandon Aiyuk, Ricky Pearsall, Gross Matos, Andre Dillard, Malik Mustafa, Curtis Robinson. NFI, which is away from the facility, but means the same thing. They won't be there to start training camp. That's George Odom and then Ben Bartch. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll be bringing breaking news as it happens. Appreciate you. Have a safe weekend.